Hi everyone and welcome back. It's me, Teresa Perrin, just letting you know why GameStop is ripping in the after hours today. I'm going to share a couple articles with you and an exciting announcement, and then I'll be doing a follow-up video to explain how this benefits the squeeze. But I want to get this out ASAP so you understand what is going on. So if you could just like and subscribe, let me pull up and show you what's happening. Okay guys, this is the notice that came out at market close. GameStop announces a 4-for-1 stock split. Business Wire, Grapevine, Texas, July 6, 2022. GameStop Corporation today announced that its board of directors has approved and declared a 4-for-1 split of the company's Class A common stock in the form of a stock dividend. Company stockholders of record at the close of business on July 18, 2022 will receive a dividend of 3 additional shares of the company Class A common stock for each then held share of Class A common stock. The stock dividend will be distributed after the close of trading on July 21st, 2022. Trading will begin on a stock split adjusted basis on July 22nd, 2022. Guys, this is huge, and I'm going to get into the nitty-gritty of how this affects us and how it affects the squeeze in a separate video, because I just want to get this out because I know lots of people have been asking why GME is going up in the after hours. So stay tuned for that, but there's also a second article that interestingly came out today that I'm going to share with you real quick. So watch that, and that'll give me time, or listen to that, and that'll give me time to make the next video because it is very important. And also, just so you're aware, the quality of the video on this, there's some weird pop-up ad that was on it on the second half, but the information is very important, so try to bear with it. Guys, thanks for watching. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe, and stay tuned. Interestingly enough, before we got the big news in after hours, this article was released. GameStop stock. Is there still short squeeze potential? With short interest in GameStop waning, is there still the potential for another profitable short squeeze? The latest short interest data reveals that in mid-June, GameStop short sellers were less enthusiastic than they were in May. The stock briefly rallied in May and June, leading short sellers to reduce their positions. But there's still the potential for further short squeezes when it comes to GameStop stock. Let's explore how. The latest official data on short selling activities in GameStop reveals a drop in mid-June compared to the previous month. On June 14th, 21% of GameStop's float was being shorted. That's approximately 14.51 million shares. But on May 12th, about 15.12 million shares were being shorted. Recently, ValueWorks portfolio manager Charles Lemonades told Reuters that hedge fund managers should be careful in aggressively betting against meme stocks. There's been too much confidence among the shorts that these businesses are completely failed, he said. Companies like GameStop and AMC Entertainment are far from broke. On the contrary, both now have healthy balance sheets and are investing in growth initiatives. And short sellers are losing money, guys. I love it. According to S3 Partners data, GameStop short sellers have seen market-to-market losses of $197 million thus far in 2022 alone. GME borrow fees. Borrow fees for GME, the amount short sellers must pay to borrow GameStop shares and open short positions, remain high. Naturally, the higher the borrow fee, the harder it is for short sellers to short shares, and the easier it is to get overwhelmed by buying volumes. In other words, this indicates a higher chance of a short squeeze. As recently as June, borrow fees were going through the roof, reaching all-time highs above 108%. This reflected a rally of almost 65% between May and early June. Although more modest, the current rate of 32% is still significant, considering that for most of the last 6 months, borrow fees remained at an average of 5%. GameStop is still squeezable. The current setup is bullish for GameStop investors looking for short squeeze potential. Although less intense than at the beginning of June, GME shares remain highly shorted. and borrow rates are high enough to squeeze short sellers on any spikes in buying volume. And speaking of buying volume, there are still two potential catalysts that may send the stock higher in the short term: the July launch of GameStop's NFT marketplace and the upcoming stock split. Guys, that leads me into the big news of today and why we are ripping in after hours. We got the announcement that GameStop is doing a 4-to-1 a 4-to-1 split. And that means for every share of GameStop that you own, you will now own 4. So if you have 10 shares of GameStop, you will now own 40. And if you have 100 shares of GameStop, you will now own 400, and so on and so forth. Let's take a look.